U.S. officials fear classified intelligence documents leaked online could now jeopardize sources and relationships that the U.S. has with its allies. The documents, which provide a rare window into how the U.S. spied on allies and foes alike, expose eavesdropping on key allies like South Korea, Israel, and Ukraine. It goes into how deep the U.S. has penetrated the Russian Ministry of Defense, apparently, and the mercenary organization Wagner Group. Ukraine is now altering some military plans because of the leak. And joining us now to talk about this, Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego of Arizona. He serves on the Armed Services Committee. Congressman, how worried are you about this?
Look, I think we have to be worried. Number one, the most important thing we have is something that we learned when I was chairman of Intel and Special Operations are our sources. And number two are our allies. And when those are both put in jeopardy, that makes us less secure and it makes our enemies more emboldened.
And according to some of the screenshots reviewed by CNN, some of the document images were posted back in March. One document seen by CNN reveals that the U.S. has been spying on Ukrainian President Zelensky, one of a few allies caught up in this alongside some adversaries. I know some of this has happened in the past. These sort of spying scandals and revelations come forward from time to time. How damaging is it?
Look, we don't know the extent of the damage. And first of all, we actually have to figure out the extent of how much is actual verifiable information that we've collected, how much is it something that has been repurposed by our foreign enemies, specifically Russia, for their end goal. And let's be clear, the reason this is coming out right now is because its goal is to weaken our resolve, weaken our alliance, and help their end goal, which is to take all of Ukraine. So we first have to really figure out how deep the hole is before we actually can figure out how to fill that hole. But let's be clear, it is very dangerous when we don't know who is handling our information, how it's being handled, or why it has been mishandled when it comes to this situation.
And China has been conducting military drills in response to the president of Taiwan meeting with the House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. That includes some simulated precision attacks. Your colleague on the Republican side, Michael McCaul, on the Foreign Affairs Committee, says Taiwan needs more weapons and training. You've been to Taiwan. You've met with the leaders there. What do you think? Do they need these weapons?
Look, I have visited Taiwan. I've spoken with the president, and in the past, I've actually have authored language in the defense budget to help Taiwan defend itself. I do think that it's more helpful to Taiwan if we give them better weapons, not for them to conduct a war, but for us to actually deter China. China right now does not actually have the capability to fully take Taiwan in a traditional invasion situation. They're trying to build to that. Now, we can actually arm Taiwan to the point where China will have to think twice about doing it. Maybe we can avoid a situation where China tries to invade Taiwan. But it is in our best interest, obviously, for Taiwan to be able to defend itself. It's in the interest of the world. It's in the interest of Arizona, for example. We have the largest Taiwanese, or I would say the largest chip maker in the world, that is TSMC, which is a Taiwanese chip making plant that's moving here to Arizona. And if Taiwan is shut down, much of the world's commerce will also be shut down. So making sure that they could defend themselves and stand on their own with, of course, alliance help is going to be really, really important. And making sure China knows that it's even more important.
And let me ask you, I mean, this is very timely with so many folks traveling around Easter. I know you've been talking about this Junk Fees Prevention Act, a proposal, a bill that you say would eliminate $9 billion in late fees, $7.6 billion in airline fees. I hope have this all right. $2.9 billion in resort fees annually. This is something that President Biden called out in February, and it got a lot of people scratching their heads saying, well, why is this in a State of the Union speech? But it is actually something that drives everybody crazy. Is this something that you think can be tackled?
Look, I do think it's something called, this is a hidden tax on working class people. When you're just trying to take a vacation, people have very few dollars nowadays to take vacations. To see what you thought was an affordable, hotel now being more expensive is awful. Trying to get airline tickets and then having to get charged extra so your child sits next to you does not allow you to really plan a vacation. Hoping to go see a Taylor Swift concert or anyone else's concert, and then going to the final page and realizing that 26% more than you originally planned is not the way that consumers should be treated. So this bill, all it really is asking is for transparency, so people know what they're getting and that they could actually plan for it. And I think At the end of the day, this is something that's very bipartisan, whether it's Democrat or Republican. We want the consumer to have as much information as possible so then they could actually make logical choices instead of trying to be essentially conned into paying these fees.
And let me ask you a political question. The Wall Street Journal reports that Senator Kyrsten Sinema, who is now an independent, is getting ready to launch her re-election campaign. I know you plan to run as a Democrat against her. What about, have you dissected this, looked at this with your political advisors about how a three-way matchup could it potentially help Republicans win that seat? How do you prevent that from happening?
It doesn't really matter. Kyrsten Sinema is always going to end up in third place, and it's not because of the Republicans or because of Democrats, because no one in Arizona trusts her. She basically violated the values of Arizonans, siding with Wall Street, starting with pharma, and she's not going to get that back. And no matter what she does and how often she does it, she won't get it back because she doesn't need to do. She can't do the bare minimum. She refuses to have a town hall to talk to her constituents. She hasn't met with constituents in 4 years, and until she actually tries to really repair that bond, it doesn't matter how much her Wall Street buddies are going to give her, she's going to end up in third place. We're not worried. We will win this race, whether it's a two-way race or a three-way race. Senator Sinema just needs to figure out whether she wants to end up in third place or find another alternative career.
All right, Congressman Ruben Gallego, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Happy Easter.